still there with us, and it is here today. Like I said before we went for that break, that we will be discussing the issue of water. You know, water is a very essential element of nature, just like the saying, water no get enemy. If you are interested in, you know, creating enmity with water, then you must be ready to vacate the planet, because the planet itself is 70% of water. And you know, in the wisdom of humanity, they decided that every 22nd of March should be assigned to celebrate water. And to that effect, that will be the basis for our discussion this morning. And we have with us this morning an environmentalist, a conservationist, Professor Sunday Oladipupo Oladimeji from the Federal University of Technology, Department of Ecotourism and Wildlife Management. Good morning, Prof. It's a pleasure to have you on the show.
Good morning, my presenter. I think that you're giving me another name. I'm Oladipo Oladeji, not Oladipupo Oladimeji. So that my father might be listening, so that I will not be thinking that.
Oh, sorry about that. Apologies.
That's okay.
All right. We begin with World Water Day. You may want to tell us, how is it taking shape? The commemoration, so to say, how is it taking shape in Ondo State this year?
Yes, it's taking shape because this time around we have various organizations, various institutions that are partnering or collaborating with Ondo State Ministry of Water Resources, Public Sanitation and Hygiene, to carry out a sensitization, awareness, and also you as a television station, you're also part of the day, because by bringing somebody like us on the television to say something about it, it's also part of the day. Although the day ought to have been celebrated yesterday, but because yesterday was Sunday, so today being the first working day in the week, we have decided to have it. And of course, as we are leaving this studio, I'm joining my colleagues, the other organizations, government institutions, and we are trying to have a kind of a campaign, sensitization, rally, walk around, procession, from a big place we are going to converge, if you permit me. Nepa Junction is a very popular place in Akure, so we'll be converging there, and from there we move to neighboring Nepa Market, where we are going to address market women. I think you don't say why market women, but it's because of sensitivity of the team. So we are targeting women, and of course some other citizens we find around. Yes.
All right, that brings us to the theme, water agenda. You may want to take us through that. What was it all about, really? Water agenda. What's the correlation?
Yes, water is a resource. When we are talking of gender, we are trying to talk about equality. Anywhere we say gender, we mean that the male and the female, they are both well represented. So we are talking of a resource where we are thinking that yes, it should be a resource that should be meant, that should mean the needs of both the male and female. And of course, you not be surprised that we are saying this. I think that part of the slogan for this is where there is abundance water, where water is running, there is equality. We believe that when there is abundant water, there is not going to be any bias. The male will go there fetch, and the female will come around to fetch. So, but when there is imbalance, we begin to say, okay, there is gender imbalance or whatever. So this year we are trying to look at, yes, water as a resource. We should be able to think of balance when we are talking of water. We should not be on one side. We should look at it on the side of the male and the female.
All right, sir. And beyond creating awareness, what real impact should people expect from this year's World Water Day?
Yes, there are projects that be set aside. Like when I was discussing with those Ministry of Water Resources, there are projects that are being set aside. For instance, most of the time, I'm not too sure this year. They go around and give people water treatment equipment so that you have the quality of your water. So it's a very big project, and of course that does not mean that individuals, organizations cannot even go to any project. And we believe that by sensitizing people, there are so many things, ideas, even things that you may not even think, that people will begin to bring it up. So creating awareness goes a long way.
Okay. So can you explain how the Ministry of Water Resources and Netlink Environmental Conservation Organization are working together this year?
This year, just as I've told you, is a partnership idea. We met them and we said, this year, how it's going to look like. We have series of meetings with them. We went to their office. We said, we are NGO and we want to be part of your program this year. They might be reluctant because they were thinking that it's going to cost a lot of money.
You mean the Netlink
the ministry was thinking that it's going to cost a lot of money. I said, okay, we do our own little, you do your own little, let the two of us come together. The little we can contribute, let the two of us come together and do something. We can't just on those states. Yes, this is a day that we celebrate across the world, and we want to be part of it, and we want those states to be part of it. So we came together. Partly little we could do, and those states does that, and we say, okay, if we cannot do anything at all, we must be able to mobilize people. We must be able to educate people. We must be able to sensitize people about it. And
all right, sir. Let's take a break to attend to some issue. From there, we'll continue. Stay with us. like to welcome back, if you are just joining us, we've been having a very interesting discussion regarding the World Water Day, and we have in the studio who has been taking us through how the event will take shape today. Speaking of the commemoration of the World Water Day, we have a professor of ecotourism and wildlife management from the Federal University of Technology, Futa Akure, Professor Sunday Oladimeji. Of course, I'm getting it right this time, right?
You try.
All right, sir. So
Oladeji.
Oladeji. Yes, sir. So,
Bukola, you were discussing earlier how Netlink environmental conversations will be mobilizing people for this campaign. So what exactly does the Ministry of Water Resources bring to the table?
We are joining ourselves together in rally.
Okay.
And of course, they are mobilizing the market women so that we be able to educate them. And of course, don't be surprised if at the end they give things, water or refreshment to people. So, and of course, by even giving us the opportunity to say, okay, let's come together, partnership, it goes a long way. So these are the things we are going to do together. And if we are doing as organization, we may not be able to pull the crowd, and we may not be able to reach the communities as much as we could. This is government. They know the citizens better. We are just NGO. So the length of collaboration is something of high magnitude that cannot be described. But the beauty of it is that you see organizations, the non-governmental organizations coming together with government organizations, mobilizing the people, sensitizing them, rally, educating them. I think that's the beauty of it. Yes.
Okay. So there will be incentives that will be shared to the people that have mobilized for this campaign.
Yes, as I told you earlier, that this is how it's been celebrated across Ondo State.
Okay.
In many occasions like this, there will be water treatment equipment that will be given out to people. And I'm not surprised, I will not be surprised that today that is also part of the plan of the ministry.
Okay.
To give this out kits, water treatment kits that you can use to do a kind of analysis or examine the quality of your water.
Okay.
I think that's very good.
Apart from these water kits, are there going to be specific projects of water, probably commissioning water projects across Ondo State?
No.
Okay.
There is not going to be like that. For now, it's not going to be like that. But I think the ministry is working toward that. Like what they told us that it's going to be a very big project. But we are saying that yes, it's going to be a big project. When the resources not there, that does not mean that we should not do anything. So we must do something to mark the day, no matter how small. And I think I want to commend on those State Ministry of Water Resources, Public Sanitation and Hygiene in doing that.
Okay.
All right, Prof, we would like you to take us through goal 6 and 5. You know, what is the intersection like from the positionality of the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals?
Yeah.
Goal 6 and 5.
Yeah, you are very, very correct.
Okay.
I think that is what United Nations is trying to do this year. They are trying to see how they can address 2 of the 17 goals that have been set aside. 2030 is very, very close. This is 2026, is 4 years, and there are very few nations that have achieved all the 17. So where so many countries are lacking. So when the United Nations has opportunities like this, they try to see of these 17 goals, which one are still not being met, which ones have we still do. So goal 6 has got to do with clean water, sanitation, hygiene. So, and because today is World Water Day, they have deemed it fit that yes, they should be able to look at that goal 6. And of course, goal 5 is turning out about gender. So I think their own wisdom, they must have looked at it and see that yes, there is a form of inequality when it comes to the issue of water. We are talking of clean water, and at the same time we notice that the women, when we are talking of scarcity of water, they are much more vulnerable. Vulnerable in the sense that men most of the time they ask their wife or their children, is my water to bathe ready? Is my water to, have you washed my clothes and whatever? Most of the time we leave that to women, and because we leave that to women, there are statistics that shows that out of 2.1 billion people across the world that do not have access to clean water, greater percentage they are women. They are women and girls, and it means that in most of the time the women are vulnerable. In most of the time, because of their vulnerability, they don't have time to go to school, because when they're supposed to be going to school, they are already looking for water. And of course, because they don't have time to go to school, it means that they don't have time to go to job, to go to work. Many of them, they don't have opportunity to go to work, because the time they're supposed to be going to work, they are busy looking for water. I also mean that many of them are exposed to risk. I give you water if I can sleep with you.
Yes.
Many of them, so it's the women are very, very vulnerable, and so I'm not surprised that United Nations this year is trying to look at goal 6. We are talking of clean water, hygiene water, and of course there are also some people out there that they are feeling the bunch of these water scarcity and some other things like that. Yeah.
Still talking about looking at this theme of for the year, water and gender. So how does this event address this challenge of women and girls accessing water, especially in rural communities?
Yes. Then now it now comes to what can we do? What can we do to take the bulk of this burden of clean water, not access to clean water, not access to sanitized water, hygienic water? How can we take the burden from the women? Yes, maybe you want me to be talking about various approach that can be taken into considerations. Yes, when there are technology that can be adopted that can assist in taking the burden away. Okay. Look at Ondo State, for instance, the coastal area of Ondo State. I was there sometimes ago.
The larger community.
The Kale community.
Okay.
If you notice that in that area, most of the water there, they are very, very saline. Especially they rely on borehole, or they rely on water from the hinterland, bringing water to that place. So it means that in that community, you expect that the women also will be vulnerable. So in that place now, there can be technology. There is a technology called desalination, where I don't want to go in depth to that. We talk of osmotic reverse method, or maybe thermal method. What do you mean by
desalination?
Desalination means you're taking the water that is saline, you take water away from there, maybe using thermal method or using this osmotic method. These are the method. That's technology. And if you look at that part of the Nigeria, or part of the Ondo State now, you notice that technology has not fully imbibed. So this is one that can be done to assist the women in that community. Another one is environmental social issues, where we can what can we do to improve the resilience of the people in that community, so that the water in that community can be clean and can be useful to them. I was having discussion with the Commissioner for Environment some times ago. He's from that part of the Ondo State, and he was telling me that, Prof, do you know that my people in that place, they're in danger? They have been threatened. I was trying to ask him that, what do you mean by that? He said, do you know that most of the time they bury bodies in a shallow grave, and after some time, maybe there is flooding or wherever, the body will be exhumed and washed into the water. And at that time I paused, because I experienced something similar. I went there for a clean up work in December, and after doing the cleaning along the coast, along the ocean and everything, we packed the waste, and I asked the community, what do we do to this waste? They said we take the waste up or up inside the ocean, we go and drop it there. I said, go and drop it there. What does that mean? And yes, they are taking away from the community. I said, no, I don't like that. And they say, okay, we burn. I said, I don't like that. Then I said, okay, we can bury the waste. So it shows that in that community, the water is seriously being polluted. The same water that they defecate is the same water they will go to take water to bathe. And maybe because of bathe, a drop gets to their mouth. And of course, look at the scenario that the commissioner has given us. So in that wise, we can talk of environmental practices. We can talk of a circular economy practice. Circular economy in the sense that, is there any way we can recycle this waste? Is there any way we can upcycle this waste, so that this waste, rather than going to the water, can be used for some other things? We can reuse it, we can upcycle it. Upcycling means we can use it for some other products that the community can make use of. These are the things, ways that what things we could do.
Okay. But because of our time, I like that, given the fact that you've been involved in trying to convince government to adopt technologies that can actually make clean and safe water, accessible for the people in the rural area, particularly the coastal area of the state. But to me, in terms of the collaboration, how well are you, maybe if you have to use the word, mounting pressure on government to adopt some of your recommendations as a conservationist who is mandated to protect the environment and the inhabitants?
Yes, like when I was discussing ministry, I said our partnership or collaboration is not going to end there. It's not going to end there because we believe that as NGO we have edge. The edge we have is that we could put up proposal together, which of course could attract funding. As I've said, we can't leave everything to the table of the government. The government, they have roles to play. Like our organization, like the one I told you that we are doing, circular economy, clean up and whatever. Okay. That's what we are doing. But we hope that we are going to go beyond that. We want to see how we are going to evolve in technology. If on those states could not do it alone, can we reach out to other organizations? Can we reach out to, like this year now, there is a certain money budgeted for this World Water Day, which of course, if we sit down together with the government, we can extend our collaboration, our partnership beyond this. Is there any way we could assist the people in that area? Can we put up a proposal that can attract funding? Can we put up a proposal that can attract grants? And even in social media, there's so many things we could do. We could launch I was reading through something yesterday, X-Prize. X-Prize, its launch is a kind of a competition, online competition that we can ask people that we can create a kind of competition. People subscribe to it. Gradually, we can be making money from that. They have to submit. Most of the time, people apply for this thing maybe a kind of a competition. In the course of applying, people that organize that kind of thing, they are making money. And of course, at times they will tell them that the money they are going to make from this is going to use for this project. So I believe that we are not going to stop here. We can organize so many things. We can organize projects where we ask for the assistance of the people in the community. Like when I was talking to the ministry, I say, you are sitting in a ministry where you have opportunities. Water sachets, bottled water, can't we get them involved? So we can launch a project, and who said we cannot raise money? Who said we cannot do a kind of donation? We cannot do a kind of launching, apart from grants and whatever, tied down to a project which we know that is going to be of benefit to the community. And I think the whole world is going to appreciate that. So these are the areas that I'm thinking we are going to work towards, so that we are not going to say rally, awareness, and at the end, all of us go to sleep. So it can be a continuous thing, something we can strengthen, something we can put forward, something we can follow up.
Okay, all right, thank you. On the final note now, in a way of call to action, how will you want the citizen of Ondo State to be part of this year's celebration? You have the platform.
Yes, join us. at NEPA Junction. As I'm leaving here, I'm expecting you to join us there. We want to tell you some other things. There are some other things that we want to tell you that we cannot tell you because of the limited time. Like reusing of water. In so many places, people don't reuse water. And that is why when the issue of scarcity comes, it bounces on us because it's not part of our culture. I went to somewhere few days ago, these people selling LNG, liquefied natural gas, and I could see that they are pouring water on that cylinder or whatever, especially because of the heat. And as they are pouring water, the water is just wasting. And I was telling them that what happened? This kind of water that's wasting, you can still collect it in many homes
and reuse
it in many homes. If you use water to wash plates, if you use water to wash your clothes, that kind of water can also be used for flushing.
Yes.
So these are the kind of culture that we're supposed to imbibe. In many developed nations, if you go to the hospital or if you go to hotel, some of their hospitality services, majority or greater percent of water they are using they are reused water. So these are the things that we think we are going to educate people with.
All right, thank you so much, Professor Sunday Oladeji, a professor of ecotourism and wildlife management. Thank you so much. We wish you all the best in today's event.
Thank you very much.
So we take a break now. When we come back, it will be time to review papers for today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's not just the job of the police. It begins with you, right where you live. Whether it's day or night, always stay alert, always stay aware. Lock your doors properly before stepping out. Keep your phones and valuables closed and secure. Protect your home, protect your family, protect your zone. Get to know your neighbors. Together, we can look out for one another. If you notice anything strange, suspicious, or unusual, don't stay quiet. Speak up, report it immediately. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't ignore the little signs. Remember, one simple call today can prevent a bigger danger tomorrow. So be smart, be safe, stay vigilant. Let's be security conscious, because together we can secure much more.
Chai, see wetin that drug dey do to our people o. See how drug take dey destroy our future. See wetin that drug dey turn our youth to. Hard drug go disgrace you. E go make your mind go crazy. Smoking and drinking go destroy your future. Your body go weak. Sickness go settle for your side. Your kidney, liver, heart, even your skin no go dey normal again. Shey na peer group dey push you inside am? Abi na because you wan belong? No follow crowd do bad thing o. No destroy your future. Stay safe, stay smart. No touch am, no buy am, no sell am. Protect your future, protect your dream, live good life. Say no to hard drug.
Care of your physical body is good for your mental health and crucial for overall well-being and a high quality of life. It empowers you to live a longer, healthier, and more fulfilling life. Focus on a balanced diet, regular physical activities, sufficient sleep, go for regular checks, protect yourself from preventable diseases, avoid smoking, excessive alcohol consumption, and risky behaviors. Eat healthy, avoid illegal drugs or using prescription drugs in ways other than prescribed. Keep your environment clean, stay hydrated, and connect with other people, as good relationships are important for your mental well-being. Please go to the hospital or consult your doctor if you are not sure of what your body is telling you. Remember that good health is more valuable than material possessions. It is the most precious asset, as it enables you enjoy life, pursue goals, and experience happiness, which wealth alone cannot guarantee. Health is wealth. This message is brought to you by OSRC Television.
It's now you're still there with us. It's still AM today, and now it's time to check for stories making the headlines from the national dailies. And this morning I'll be taking stories from the Nation newspaper, the Guardian, and the Leadership newspaper. Bukola will take care of the rest of the papers. And I'm beginning with security story. President, governors set up war against terrorists. With the riders, Tinubu seek fresh equipment, intelligence backing. The President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is intensifying international partnership for military support, while governors move closer to securing a legal framework for state police. At a high-level meeting in Lagos yesterday, the President and 25 governors signaled a coordinated strategy that combines foreign-backed security reinforcement with localized police reform to confront terrorism, banditry, and other threats across the country. Speaking while receiving members of the Nigerian Governors Forum, NGF, at his residence, Tinubu said his administration is deepening diplomatic engagement with global leaders to secure modern equipment, intelligence, and training for Nigerian security agencies. For details of that report, you get in the Nation newspaper.
All right, I'm taking my first story from the Tribune, Nigerian Tribune. 2027 ministers who may resign before Tinubu's March 31st deadline. At least 6 ministers in the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's cabinet may resign ahead of the President's March 31st deadline for his political appointees seeking elective office in the 2027 general elections. The contents include Minister of Power Bayo Adelabu, Minister of Health and Social Welfare Mohammed Ali Pate, Minister of Agriculture and Food Security Abubakar Kyari, Minister of Transportation Saidu Alkali, Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Maitama Tuga, Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy Bosun Tijani. A directive from Tinubu issued through the Office of the Secretary to the Governments of the Federation, SGF, Judge Akume, mandates all affected officials to step down before participating in party primaries. The order is pursuant to the provisions of Section 88(1) of the Electoral Act 2026, as well as the timetable issued by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, for party primaries ahead of the 2027 general election. In the circular signed by Akume and issued by the Permanent Secretary, General Services Office Ibrahim Abubakar Kana, the government stated that the resignation requirements apply to all categories of presidential political appointees, including ministers, special advisors, senior special assistants, and head of federal agencies. For more details on that story, you can find that on Nigerian Tribune.
All right, that story, the particular section of the Electoral Act that necessitate that all political appointees should resign their offices if they are going to contest. But a lot of people are also saying, what about the president? What about the governors and the other elected public officials? Why should they be exempted from that kind of development?
I think they have a special immunity to them, or it's I wouldn't know if there's another special section that exempts these executives from resigning from their office.
Yeah, but like you said, the way our constitution is designed is that people like that, elected officials, cannot, be removed from their offices. For instance, if the president is contested, constitutionally, the vice president should step up. But if you notice that the president and the vice president share the same ticket. So if the president is contesting, then the vice president must as well step down to join in the electioneering processes. And also, if constitutionally speaking as well, if the vice president is stepping down, then the this president of the Senate have to step up. But what if it's contested? So I think we should just leave it like that. It's really okay to just limited it to appointed officers.
Yes.
All right, still checking stories from the Nation newspaper. Go stay on now going to politics. Makinde Bala Mohammed differ on way forward for PDP. With the rider from two surviving People's Democratic Party PDP governors have expressed divergent petitions on the way forward for the party, while Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde believes that a reconciliation with Abdurrahman Mohammed-led National Caretaker Working Committee is a vote for Tinubu's continuation in 2027. Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed holds the opinion that the party will come together ahead of the general election. Both of them speaking during Makinde's visit to Bauchi yesterday. Makinde said, "I came once into the public domain to say that I was in a meeting with Wike and Mr. President, and he promised to hold PDP for Mr. President towards 2027. So anyone dealing with Wike and his group, it means you have also agreed to support President Tinubu for 2027. Even though they have the government and the judiciary, we have the people behind us." Coming from Makinde. For details of that story, is in the Nation newspaper.
Okay, I'm going to the Punch newspaper now. Natasha blames PDP crisis for defections, urges return. The senator representing Kogi Central, Natasha Akpoti Uduaghan, has decried the sharp decline in the number of senators elected on the platform of the People's Democratic Party, revealing that the party has lost 31 lawmakers in the red chambers amid its prolonged internal crisis. Akpoti Uduaghan spoke on Saturday in Abuja during the inauguration of the PDP Convention Committee, an event seen by party leaders as a critical step toward rebuilding unity and repositioning the opposition party ahead of future elections. In a statement issued on Sunday by her media aide, Mike Idoko. The lawmaker expressed concern over the scale of defections that had weakened the PDP's presence in the Senate. Addressing party members and the media in Abuja, she, however, expressed optimism that the inauguration marked a turning point for the PDP. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I would say I'm extremely elated tonight simply because we have a political party. Congratulations to everyone here today. I know it's not been easy. We've been on the news back and forth, and that has kept a lot of people wondering what befalls the PDP, she said. Apoti Aduagan recalled the steady decline in the party's representation in the Senate, attributing it to the leadership crisis that rocked the PDP in recent times. For more information on this news, you can find that on Punch newspaper.
ADC slams Tinubu £476 million port rehab deal. The African Democratic Congress (ADC) has described the £746 million agreement signed by President Bola Tinubu during his state visit to the UK as a Mugu deal, which disproportionately favor the United Kingdom and its economy while leaving Nigeria with a massive debt. In a statement signed by its National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi, the ADC said while the APC government has tried to pass off the deal as President Tinubu's major achievement, it is in fact an achievement of the UK government, which through its deal has managed to save its steel industry, protect thousands of UK jobs, and get Nigeria to pay for it. Details you find in the Guardian newspaper. Okay. I believe that's much we can take on newspaper review. We'll take a break now. When we come back, we'll be having the second discussion for today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
It's not just the job of the police. It begins with you, right where you live. Whether it's day or night, always stay alert, always stay aware. Lock your doors properly before stepping out. Keep your phones and valuables closed and secure. Protect your home, protect your family, protect your zone. Get to know your neighbors. Together, we can look out for one another. If you notice anything strange, suspicious, or unusual, don't stay quiet. Speak up. Report it immediately. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't ignore the little signs. Remember, one simple call today can prevent a bigger danger tomorrow. So be smart, be safe, stay vigilant. Let's be security conscious, because together we can secure much more. Taking care of your physical body is good for your mental health and crucial for overall well-being and a high quality of life. It empowers you to live a longer, healthier, and more fulfilling life. Focus on a balanced diet, regular physical activities, sufficient sleep, go for regular checks, protect yourself from preventable diseases, avoid smoking, excessive alcohol consumption, and risky behaviors. Eat healthy, avoid illegal drugs or using prescription drugs in ways other than prescribed. Keep your environment clean, stay hydrated, and connect with other people, as good relationships are important for your mental well-being. Please go to the hospital or consult your doctor if you are not sure of what your body is telling you. Remember that good health is more valuable than material possessions. It is the most precious asset, as it enables you enjoy life, pursue goals, and experience happiness which wealth alone cannot guarantee. Health is wealth. This message is brought to you by Osrc Television.
Chai, see wetin that drug dey do to our people o. See how drug take dey destroy our future. See wetin that drug dey turn our youth to. Hard drug go disgrace you. E go make your mind go crazy. Smoking and drinking go destroy your future. Your body go weak. Sickness go settle for your side. Your kidney, liver, heart, even your skin no go dey normal again. Shey na peer group dey push you inside am? Abi na because you wan belong? No follow crowd do bad thing o. No destroy your future. Stay safe, stay smart. No touch am, no buy am, no sell am. Protect your future, protect your dream, live good life. Say no to hard drug.
It's not just the job of the police. It begins with you, right where you live. Whether it's day or night, always stay alert, always stay aware. care of your physical body is good for your mental health and crucial for overall well-being and a high quality of life. It empowers you to live a longer, healthier, and more fulfilling life. Focus on a balanced diet, regular physical activities, sufficient sleep, go for regular checks, protect yourself from preventable diseases, avoid smoking, excessive alcohol consumption, and risky behaviors. Eat healthy, avoid illegal drugs or using prescription drugs in ways other than prescribed. Keep your environment clean, stay hydrated, and connect with other people, as good relationships are important for your mental well-being. Please go to the hospital or consult your doctor if you are not sure of what your body is telling you. Remember that good health is more valuable than material possessions. It is the most precious asset, as it enables you enjoy life, pursue goals, and experience happiness which wealth alone cannot guarantee. Health is wealth. This message is brought to you by OSRC Television.
Welcome back. We move on to the next discussion for today, which is on the subject of security as far as Nigeria is concerned. You know, according to the Nigerian Constitution, the primary assignment of government shall be to protect lives and properties. But in the case where it's as if government is finding it difficult to discharge its constitutional responsibilities, people can no longer sleep with their two eyes closed because of fear of banditry, terrorism, even kidnapping, and as well as ritual killings. Then we begin to wonder, should we say government has completely failed in the discharge of its constitutional responsibility, or maybe it's high time we start rethinking our approach in dealing with insecurity in this country? So to help us shape this conversation this morning, we are being joined by public affairs analyst and a development strategist, Mr. Ayomide Akinwale. Good morning, Mr. Ayomide. Thank you for joining us on the show this morning.
Good morning, Mr. Alex. It's a good pleasure to be here,
right,
and looking forward to the conversation.
All right. How is Abuja this morning?
Well, quite very well.
Okay.
Very well.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's begin the conversation. Nigeria is facing serious security issues, challenges. We should put it that way.
Yes.
So in your view or your own definition of rethinking security architecture, going by the Nigeria context, what will be your definition of rethinking the security architecture?
That's a very good question. Firstly, in rethinking Nigeria's security architecture, there are so many things we need to put into consideration. I just want to do some background before I get straight into the conceptual clarification of that. In talking about Nigeria's security architecture, there are so many factors to consider, which ranges from the socio-economic factor, the political factor, and the strategic factor as well. By talking about the strategic factor in this instance, I'm making specific reference to the military weaponry as well as the tactics used in warfare. So, as it is today now, we are currently in the age of modern warfare.
Okay.
Also, economically and socio-economically, we have to consider the welfare of those of combatants, of soldiers, in the front line, attacking, facing these orders of ensuring stability in our community. And politically, we also need to consider the aspect of government. So, rethinking security architecture in this instance is going to be a holistic consideration of these factors I have outlined, ranging from the socio-economic consideration, the strategic consideration, and the political consideration. How could we harness all these factors to ensure that they are formidable in tackling security challenges in Africa? So I would not necessarily say overall restructuring, but it's about adopting the right approach to ensure that with overwhelming force, the issue of Nigerian insecurity is effectively addressed, ensuring stability in our community. Thank you.
All right, yeah, I love that. So a whole lot of factors has to be, put in to actually understand what it means to rethink the security architecture, right?
Yes.
Okay, now let's talk on the part of the leadership now. Can you really say the daily leadership, people in the affairs of governance, are they putting up the enough political will to deal with insecurity in Nigeria, in your view?
Well, that is a very good one. Regarding that, President Tinubu recently, in his trip to the United Kingdom, he made some strategic agreements with the United Kingdom, also regarding our security. And also, even if we move back a little bit to consider the situation in December 2025 regarding the Lakurawa, Nigeria partnered with the United States of America to, decimate the positions, the areas where the Lakurawa terrorists are known to reside in. So Nigeria took strategic considerations in decimating these positions. Similarly, yesterday a report was released that the Nigerian president also made a call to Emmanuel Macron, regarding support for the Nigerian military and Nigerian troops and Nigerian security with improved weaponry. So these considerations, if we put them all together, it shows that at least steps are being taken in the right direction. However, this does not mean that there are not possibilities for criticism, because considering the situation as it is today, our security as it is more reactive rather than preventive.
Okay.
Now, let us take into consideration the case of Lakurawa in December 2025. Prior to the United States of America's ramping up the situation and the extent of genocide perceived against Christians, because sometimes Donald Trump tend to overcomplicate things. Not necessarily, if we consider the fact it's not only Christians that are being attacked, Muslims are also being attacked. So if we put into consideration these things, it raises serious question regarding how the Nigerian government approach the security. Why have we been reactive despite so many people losing their lives? So, which means that from that we can...
Before you proceed, you said Trump intervention overcomplicate things. Yes. Is that your take? Trump, then Donald Trump intervention.
Yes, I'm not saying he overcomplicated.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not saying he overcomplicated it. What I'm trying to say is that Trump, with his statement, he overcomplicates things. He exaggerates a lot.
Right.
And the reason I've said that is because Donald Trump emphasized that Christians are the ones facing the end of attack in Nigeria, which is not true.
Yeah.
Because Muslims are also being attacked. Not only Muslims are also being attacked, even people of the Fulanis, the Hausas are also being attacked. And if you look at areas where there is significant consideration of terrorist attacks and kidnapping in Nigeria, we're going to consider the northeast and northwest, where we have a high concentration of these banditry groups, such as that in Sokoto, led by Bello Turji and Togo. So these people there, they are essentially in the northwest. And if you look at the northeast, you're going to consider the terrorist groups like the Lakurawa, also known as ISWAP. We are going to consider the Jazz. We are going to consider so many terrorist groups as they are in that place. And it also boils down to the porous borders. So now, moving on, straight to what I'm saying earlier. So as I've established, the Nigerian government is too reactive when it comes to our security, which is not meant to be. So I believe that is an area of improvement, but as it is now, as we have seen recently, it seems there is improvement when it comes to strategic partnership, ranging from also the United States of America. I think that was 3 or 5 days ago. They supported they brought about drones, about 200 drones or so, 200 troops together with a number of drones to conduct intelligence. And if you look at Nigeria, one issue we have struggled with when it comes to addressing the issue of insecurity, I believe, is intelligence. Because, I believe these are still things we are going to touch for. I don't want to dwell too much on that. And the reason I talked about intelligence briefly.
All right, Mr. Akinwale, let's talk about the policing structure. How effective is our current centralized policing system? And for your opinion, do you think Nigeria should move towards states or community policing?
Yeah, that's a very good one. Yes, as it is, I do not believe that the synchronized policing structure, which is too centralized, is the way to go regarding addressing the issue of insecurity. And one reason why I say this is because of the bottlenecks when it comes to the synchronized policing system, the free flow of information in that regard, and effective attacks, effective resolutions to insecurity when it comes to community. Centralized policing system might not have adequate access to intel and information when it comes to the grassroots. So there is a need for us to make the security agencies closer to the people. And if we are to take a specific insight, we have to spotlight regional considerations and regional provisions to addressing this gap when it comes to synchronized policing. We can see that each region is trying to adopt its own security structure, such as the Southwest. We have the Amotekuns and the likes.
So what do you think is the biggest advantage of this approach? What do you think is the biggest advantage if we are going into community policing?
Yeah, the biggest advantage for community policing is that, it's going to ensure quicker response to addressing issues of insecurity when it comes to the to grassroots. And I believe that is actually very necessary in combating the issue of insecurity in Nigeria, because we have to look at advanced countries. These are things that most of them adopted. These are things they have adopted. United States of America, for instance, has the mayoral approach when it comes to where they have sheriffs in their counties. So these are things, and to a certain degree, it has been effective in addressing insecurity in those countries. I believe this could be something Nigeria could also incorporate in the security architecture heading forward.
Okay, Mr. Akinwale, if you are to access Amotekun in the Southwest, especially considering the limited resources, do you think they have enough resources to work with, or are there any risks they are going to be exposed to?
Yes, obviously there are risks, and obviously they will be exposed to adequate resources as the structured policing system that we have in place in Nigeria. When I say structured policing system, I'm talking about the police itself. So when it comes to investment or budgeting into weaponry, into security gadgets and all these things, intelligence, the Amotekuns would not have access to these things, because recently, in my observation of the Amotekun itself, what I was able to see, they comprise mostly hunters. Yeah, and if you look at these, people are not even trained when it comes to
Mr. Ayobide, they are not hunters. They are well-trained security officers. Well-trained. They received the best of military training to their capacity.
He's saying they do not receive enough training.
They did. I think what is needed on the part of the Amotekun is to be well equipped
Yes.
with modern technology, security gadgets, as you rightly said.
But what do you think they are doing right, Mr. Akinwale, the Amotekun? What do you think they are doing right?
Yes, they are doing right, but the thing is, the issue is with resourcing, and when I'm talking about training, for instance, the Amotekun would not be exposed to structured training as Nigerian police will be exposed to.
Okay.
Now, we're talking about the Nigerian, military having access to trainings from the United States of America troops, training them on intelligence, on conducting strategic attacks, strategic warfare when it comes to modernized military. When it comes to the Amotekuns, you won't expect external agencies from the United States of America with advanced, security architecture they will not necessarily want to take this approach as compared to partnering in training the Nigerian police force. And the Nigerian police force in this instance is already the community policing, where we decentralize the policing system in order to ensure that communities have easy access to the police.
So at this, Mr. Akinwale, at this stage, do you think the Amotekun can be replicated in other parts of the country, especially the northern and the south, the northern part of the country, or do you think the improvement has to come first?
Yeah, honestly, I would not recommend that they should be replicated in the northern parts of the country or the south. Let us even spotlight the north as it is, because they are the ones facing the throes of insecurity in Nigeria the most at present. Yeah, so I would not recommend that the likes of Amotekun should be replicated in the north. They need more advanced security system in those regions. And if in fact, to justify the extent of the extenuating circumstances in the north, even the military could not have, the military, they've tried their best, but they've encountered some hindrances, which, which requires external support for them to even ensure that they nullify this security threat in the northern region. Now, talking about the Amotekun, if the military still, encounter hindrances when it comes to battling insecurities in the north, the Amotekuns replicating the Amotekuns in the north would not necessarily be effective when it comes to overwhelming force in bringing these people to their knees. So we need a more advanced, more structured and ruthless system in the northern region. And with a ruthless system, I'm going to recommend, I would still say the community policing will be much better than, the likes of Amotekun being replicated in the north.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Ayomide. Now, let's talk about technology. You alluded to the fact that security in this contemporary world should be more of preemptive and preventive rather than, reacting in the aftermath of a crime. And we know Nigerian, especially the government, coming up with the rhetorics of it's condemnable, it's totally unacceptable in the aftermath of every crime. Now, with the pace at which technology is evolving, what equipment would you recommend? Of course, you made mention of drones. United States supporting Nigeria with drones. Apart from drones, what other gadgets or ammunitions, highly tech ammunitions, you think we can really adopt to deal with this issue of insecurity in Nigeria?
Okay, thank you very much for that. Well, I have to, in recommending technologies, I have to also consider the Nigerian context. Are these things we can, deploy?
All right.
At present, when it comes to the resources we have, and the investment into the military, and when it comes to the know-how in operating these technologies. So, in the Nigerian context, based on the ranking as of 2024, Nigeria has, in the top, when we look at the countries with the most effective air force, Nigeria is currently ranked 7th in Africa and 54th globally. Now, in the Nigerian context, a recommendation that I would make in this case is that Nigeria should adopt more of air warfare as against, ground attacks against the terrorists. Because the Nigerian military, they have intelligence on where the terrorists are, where they are located. Now that that is the case, why can't we deploy the Air Force, our fighter jets, deploy them, bombard these areas with, air attacks to not effectively nullify the terrorists? And in fact, the world, if you look at modern warfare, we have advanced into the era of psychological warfare. And yes, in talking about psychological warfare, if you look at how Israel, how the United States and Israel have, invaded Iran and they have attacked Iran, their approach is that of targeting the keys, the heads of this, of Iran, the heads of the IRGC and the likes. So Nigeria, instead of ensuring combating all the terrorists on the ground, we should target target the heads of these terrorist groups, know their location, and ensure precise airstrikes to these locations to effectively nullify them. So instead of the ground warfare, which is claiming the lives
Mr.
of
Kinwale, there was a recent victory from the Nigerian security system, the army, with the ISWAP. That was just a few days ago. So what do you think about that? They defeated some of this ISWAP. They killed most of them with the limited resources they have as at now. So what do you think about the victory?
I think he mentioned
the victory over ISWAP. I believe that is the Ungoshi town. Did I get us right? Yeah, the English town. Yeah. It is not as though the Nigerian military has not been victorious over these terrorist groups. Okay. The issue is the question of overwhelming force. Despite victories, of course, as of 2026, Nigeria has recorded a number of victories, counter-terrorism victories over ISWAP groups. But these victories are not of overwhelming force when it comes to effectively nullifying these people. Yes. So, as I've said earlier, it is about psychological warfare now. And, to even show you the extent by which these victories they have been effective in its own way. But the reason why we need overwhelming force is that now look at ISWAP. They mostly target the military bases in the north. If these victories have any, impact when it comes to psychological threat to ISWAP terrorists, I'm pretty sure that they will be afraid to even consider attacking military bases. But that's not the case. They do not fear attacking military bases, as in fact, most of their attacks are even concentrated on military bases, which shows you the extent by which they consider the Nigerian military as their power, which is not meant to be. When they think about the Nigerian military, they should think about fair, not about equity or equality. They should think about fair, not even have the chutzpah or the boldness to attack military bases. So these victories are okay, they are good, but when it comes to overwhelming force, we need something beyond that.
All right, this Ayobide, I agree with you on that the Nigerian military or Nigerian security agencies are overstretched. But beyond that, let's look at the intelligence gathering of Nigerian security agencies. How would you rate that, the intelligence gathering of Nigerian security agencies?
Okay, that's a good question. As regards my rating of the intelligence of the Nigerian security agency, I would give them about a 5. And the reason I would give them a 5 because going into the forest to attack the terrorist groups shows that for them to identify specific locations where these people are located, such as the Sambisa forest, and to conduct attack on them, even though sometimes the ISWAP terrorists, as the case may be, might overpower them, or the DAS terrorists might sometimes overpower them. It shows that there is an element of intelligence, but could it be advanced? Obviously.
Okay, all right.
And that is the reason why, of recent, I'm actually very happy with that development where they had to partner with the United States of America for drones. So with the use of drones, you have precise equipment to target the bases of the terrorists. And the drone the United States of America is supporting Nigeria with, if I'm quite clear on the name, I think it's M29, and it could over for 27 hours, which is actually very good. So for it to over for 27 hours, it could over to identify the specific location of the terrorist groups, and of course it could also be deployed as an instrument or to attack the terrorist group, to attack their bases. So with that development, I believe we could start experiencing further growth when it comes to our...
All right, because of our time, I would like to hear your take on these, the Nigerian security agencies giving media access to very sensitive information, classified information in Nigeria today. I'm saying this because I saw something on social media. A content creator went to the house of a governor. I don't want to mention name, probably because of the influence of the son of the governor. So he got in and he was trying to live stream. So the DSS guy, stopped him from doing that for security reasons. So the guy now called the son of the governor, and the son of the governor replied that, "Don't worry, I will call my dad." But my take is that the DSS guy was actually doing everything possible in the interest of the father, the governor, because that was his assignment there. So I wanted to speak on that. This relationship between our security strategies and media, not necessarily the traditional media now, but the new media. What's your take on that?
Yeah, that's actually that's a good one, and it's one of the things that we have to address as the situation is. Because as I said, now to be clear, I would like to ask you a question, a clarifying question in that regard. Now, the visit of the streamer to the governor and the DSS trying to restrict him from gathering further information to run live streaming the situation.
Yes.
Was it about security considerations? I mean, was it about security meetings?
It was just a leisure
It was just there, but anyhow, if you use live streaming to some extent, it's actually exposing the perimeter of that particular environment. If you must agree with me. Do you understand my point? Because when you are live streaming, you are not in a sport. You're just moving around, showing people, to let people know that indeed I'm in the Mr. Governor's house, this and that and that. And to some extent, it's exposing the security perimeter of the environment. If you agree with me. Okay, because of our time,
let's talk about the public participation about this insecurity issue. How well is this?
Sorry, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now, Mr. Akinwale? I said let's talk about the public participation. Can you hear me? Okay. So how well is the see something, say something culture working in Nigeria today? Are people really speaking up, or is there still fear and silence in the society, especially on this insecurity issue?
Well, regarding the insecurity, as you say, the police is your friend, and in talking about insecurity, and people now have the fear that even the police they want to consult when it comes to reporting cases of insecurity could even be, partners to the people they're trying to report against. So I would say there is fear as cases. And how do we address this?
Mr. Akinwale, we have to go because of our time. We really appreciate your contribution this morning. Very, very professional. And we also look forward to hosting you some other time. Thank you so much for your time. He is a public affairs analyst and development strategist at your media, Akinwale. Thank you. We are so grateful. All right.
Yes.
Yeah. So we take a break now, and the show continues after this. Stay with us.
Is around the corner.
Hallelujah! A season to remember and celebrate the ultimate sacrifice of our Lord Jesus Christ, His death, His resurrection, and the hope He brings to us all. The Ondo State Media Group, proud owners of Osrc TV, Orange 94.5 FM and Sunshine 96.5 FM Alalaye, warmly invites Christian faithful within and outside Ondo State to partner with us this Easter season. Sponsor our Lenten Talks, Orin Ajinde, and other specially packaged Easter programs now available at highly discounted rates. Advertise with us and reach millions. You will never regret doing business with Osrc TV, Orange 94.5 FM and Sunshine 96.5 FM Alalaye. Come one, come all. For inquiries and sponsorship details, call Chioma on 0803 675 7630. Remy on 0803 592 7324 or Buki on 0807 321 1135. Osrc Media Group, the stations you can always trust.
Chai, see wetin that drug dey do to our people o. See how drug take dey destroy our future. See wetin that drug dey turn our youth to. How drug go disgrace you. E go make your mind go crazy. Smoking and drinking go destroy your future. Your body go weak. Sickness go settle for your side. Your kidney, liver, heart, even your skin no go dey normal again. Shey na peer group dey push you inside am? Abi na because you wan belong? No follow crowd do bad thing o. No destroy your future. Stay safe, stay smart. No touch am, no buy am, no sell am. Protect your future, protect your dream, live good life. Say no to hard drug.
Safety is not just the job of the police. It begins with you, right where you live. Whether it's day or night, always stay alert, always stay aware. Lock your doors properly before stepping out. Keep your phones and valuables closed and secure. Protect your home, protect your family, protect your zone. Get to know your neighbors. Together, we can look out for one another. If you notice anything strange, suspicious, or unusual, don't stay quiet. Speak up. Report it immediately. Don't wait until it's too late. Don't ignore the little signs. Remember, one simple call today can prevent a bigger danger tomorrow. So be smart, be safe, stay vigilant. Let's be security conscious, because together we can secure much more.
All right, thank you for staying with us. It's still AM today on Osrc Television. Now it's time for a quick, interesting segment. It's the Did You Know segment where we'll be sharing interesting facts about Nigeria that you might not know before. So the first fact I have here we'll be discussing is, did you know that Nigeria has over 200 million people and more than 500 spoken languages? Talking about diversity, that's
wow.
That's a huge amount of people, of course, 200 million people, and speaking over 500 spoken languages. Of course, Yoruba is there, which I'm very proud to speak. And let's be honest, do you think this diversity is more of strength or a challenge? Looking at this,
obviously our diversity is more of strength, if you ask me, given the fact that diversity, being diversified now, give opportunity for us to explore our culture, even to the point of making it international package products. You understand the point?
The tradition, the food,
so
the music.
we must get to that. But in terms of the population, Nigeria is really exploding. There's no doubt about that. But we should also speak to the fact that to what extent the strength of our population now is actually responding well to the state of our economy. Because if you have a population that is increasing, ever increasing, and the economy is not really moving forward, then you might end up creating burdens, rather you're creating liabilities rather than taking advantage of your population to drive the economy. So the manager of our economy should also be creative, in the sense that as the population is growing, then they should also be working towards ensuring that the economy as well is increasing, is becoming prosperous. Very, very important.
Okay, now let's come to the second fact. Let's come closer to home. Did you know that Ondo State contributes roughly about 1.5 to 2% to Nigeria's GDP, and that comes from agriculture, especially cocoa production from the Idori axis. Not only Idori, even the whole of Ondo now embrace the production of cocoa. So the oil producing
also producing state in the south.
Yes, in the Seldo and Ilajo community, and to trade. So when we say that Ondo State contributes about 1.5% to Nigeria's GDP, is it actually enough? Or what do you think we can
It's a good one. It's a good one. I believe we can do better. Yeah, for a start, like you said, we can do better. Given the fact that we are very, very rich and blessed with natural resources,
especially the bitumen.
The bitumen,
I understand we have bitumen,
the oil,
natural resources,
and even agriculture is also our strength. I believe we can still do more, and I believe we are working towards that already. Given the fact that
it's better investment.
Exactly, the seaport, for instance, is in its incubation. So by the time that is materialized, I believe that our contribution in terms of GDP we definitely shoot up. So it's bright for Ondo State. The future is looking bright for Ondo State.
The State Governor Lucky Saida to assign with the Commissioner for Finance signed the MOU.
Yes, MOU. Investors coming to be part of the development of the DC port. Yeah.
Of course, we are going to do more concerning that. So the third fact I have here is about social media growth and. Social media as usage in Nigeria has grown by over 40% in the last 5 years. So that's why most people are active on social media now. Every home you see teenagers, even adults are on social media, and it's mainly because I think it's because one, the virality they get when you're on social media, and the money when you're on social media, the monetization. You get money when you're unlike let's say 5-10 years ago when you were just on social media, you're not really anything except for YouTube. But now both TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, and I think Instagram is also being monetized to some extent. It's being monetized, and of course people are building businesses.
It's good. It's a good one. We call it new media, and it's part of the evolution of human existence, which is a good one. But to me, I think we still need to work on the social media to some extent that the freedom is not totally absolute. Though I believe It's a platform for people to express themselves, so it gives you the opportunity of that expressions. But there is a saying that any society where freedom is absolute is an irresponsible society, because people, by default, human beings have the tendencies of abusing things. It's in our nature. We can't take that away from human beings. And that's the more reason why it has to be cautioned. It has to be kind of filtered. People coming on social media to make money, there's nothing bad about that. But we cannot, because we have that absolute expression, we are now destroying people's identities. We are misrepresenting a nation.
And also
misrepresenting a nation. All of those things, government should find a way to look at. We're on this platform of last week. We invited a software engineer where he talked about that in China, if you get the opportunity of going through the news feed, probably Facebook or so, that what you see are basically educational content, not these junks we see on our side. So I believe it was a partnership between the developers and the government of that country. So it can be replicated here in Nigeria, I believe. So it shouldn't be absolutely about freedom. It should be about contribution.
So there should be a regulation.
Yes, that's the point. Regulation. That's the word. Regulation.
Especially on the spreading of misinformation through this platform. So I believe in the nearest future, the government will do something about this.
Absolutely. I hope so.
The next fact I have here is about youth population. Did you know over 60% of Nigerians are under the age of 25? So that shows that this country is basically made of youth. Though we have people above 25, of course, but the large percentage of the population of the country is basically young people, and that should tell that these young people should put in more effort in building the economy of the country. Since we have young and vibrant people in the country, there should be a growth towards
I believe there is a serious need for self-rediscovery as far as the youth of this country is concerned. They really need to wake up. The likes of the leaders of today, people that are about facing out, the generation that is about facing out, they are still the one holding on to the mantle of leadership. So where are the youth? Like I said, you can't be on social media at all time. You have to get involved in the political landscape and the leadership, environment of your country, because you have to get involved. It is not done on social media. You don't vote on social media, and your vote cannot count on social media. So you have to come to the ballot to vote.
Talking about voting on social media, I think in the nearest future, I do hope that voters will be able to vote online, because most youths they find it difficult to go to the polling.
But in the nearest future can be 10-50 years. Do we have to wait that long?
10 years. Let's say 10 years.
So
it's going to be
even at the point, there was this controversy about the real-time, uploading of results. That people have been talking. INEC coming to clarify themselves that it's not going to be absolute, because in certain areas they may be having internet issues. So technologically, are we ready? No, we are not ready. But in the interim, we should be doing something. We should not fold our arms and watch time slips before we know what is going on. So the youth, they are the strength of this country. They really need to come up. They really need to step up and take the baton of leadership and drive the country to a better destination. That's just my take on that.
The last fact I have here is about electricity reality. Did you know that Nigeria generates less than 5,000 megawatts of electricity for over 200 million people, when we should be generating 20,000 megawatts in the country? But I think the Ministry of Power recently spoke, the Minister of Power, through an article I read, and they said they have a challenge with the generation and the gas they use in what they use in generating this thing, and it all boils down to the fact that there's not enough resources for these ministries to work in Nigeria. And I do hope something, because there's businesses that struggle with this, even households that do not have electricity in their houses. There's no way for them to even save food. You see, you get food wastage when there's no electricity to save and to preserve this food. So it also shows how it slows economic growth.
Of course.
When there's no constant electricity, when there's no energy in the country, the economy.
Somebody said something interesting. This concept of AI taking over, and somebody said even the fact that AI is dominating, but without energy, AI cannot survive.
Yes,
because it takes energy to power AI.
Of course.
Absolutely. But to me, I still want to talk in the area of decentralization of power, the distribution of or generation of power in the country. I believe the National Assembly is working on it, so that state will be given the opportunity to start generate their own power.
Lagos State is working on that.
Yes, of course. It's a national thing, and I believe it's a work in progress, because with that, by doing that, state will generate their own power, will no longer dependent on the national grid, which is always collapsing like epileptic thing of a thing. So we should work on that. That will help state to even generate revenue, because when state gets involved in that business, more companies will be interested to be part of it, and that will somehow, to some extent, remove the monopolistic factor out of the system and give room for competition. So we should work on that. That will definitely increase generation of power compared to what we have today. So,
all right, that's of course, those are the 5 facts.
Work in development anyway.
Those are the 5 facts for you to put into perspective. The truth remains that Nigeria has potential, but are we truly making use of this potential? So that will be all for this segment. So thank you.
And with that, we conclude AM today. We thank everyone for being a part of it. It's really been a very engaging and interesting edition, though the conversation continues on all our social media platforms. Scrolling on the screen, like, subscribe, follow as the case may be, to get the conversation going. We'll see you next week. Alex Adejo is my name. I'm from Bukola. And
I am Adebukola. But it's been an insightful and engaging conversation here. But remember, the conversation doesn't end here. Let us all continue to play our part in building a safer and better society. My name is Adebukola. Until the next week that we come your way again, do have a great week.